inventory is it's an extremely hard process. There's nothing nice or easy about it. I'm Bill from Gen3 Electric and HVAC. Here in Philadelphia. I am the owner, and I go by the title as theoretical leader.
And I'm Debbie Lutz. I am officially the general manager and hole plugger right now of different things in the company.
The building that we warehoused in about a month ago is basically 2 row homes wide and surrounded on 3 sides by buildings. It only has 1 garage door.
We were operating, the warehouse space that we had dedicated was less than 2,000 square feet, broken up between 2 rooms. Our dumpsters had to be outside in a corral on the sidewalk. The neighborhood is continuing to revitalize, so with more competition for parking, more homes. Our delivery trucks are a problem. Our garbage truck is a problem. You know, we're becoming a nuisance to our neighbors. We don't want to annoy our neighbors. Our neighbors are our customers. Like we understand that we cannot continue to keep operating out of the space. When this whole entire building came up for a lease, they approached us to see if we wanted to upgrade our unit. As the general manager, looking at my warehouse stash straining, our every installer, every service technician, it wasn't a hard decision to just say yes. We have to find the money for it in the budget and cover the costs. And it was like watching a business all cramped up, just kind of stretch its arms and put its legs down.
As you go on the journey to start counting every little bit and screw, originally we were purchasing and making sure we had enough purchase available here and not necessarily inventorying it throughout the whole system. We're still not inventorying throughout the whole system. We're now at the point where we can stage, we will be staging jobs ahead of time. We have gone through and reshelved a bunch of trucks to have standardized bin shelves. They are in the process of being well inventoried. We have other trucks we haven't got to yet. It's so hard to do inventory on lower levels if you don't have everyone rowing the same direction. If you can't get the technicians or the teams to document what they're doing, it's not going to get done. And then you have to have a realization of how much juice is worth the squeeze. Electrical's tough because it's like all the components in a box for air conditioning, but they're all, there's just tons of little parts. So how much do you count? How do you set that up? How do you measure wire? Accounting has all the challenges of like moving these big numbers around the invoices and stuff. When you get to the inventory side of it, each one of those big numbers on an invoice has 20 line items that are moving 5, 10 different directions in different stages. So it multiplies all the things that you have to do to actually have a cycle count that ends up right, or at least be within margins of what you think is reasonable.
They have a weekly warehouse call that I join when I can. A lot of times it's about them and just processes that they have going on. Some of the call is about ServiceTitan specifically, and because Bill's a real whiz with that. So some of that's just like figuring out how they can make tracking inventory in the software work for their business. And one thing that Bill said that I fully agree with is just that everybody has to be rowing in the same direction, from your field managers to your technicians to the owners to the warehouse. And if they don't row in the same direction, it just doesn't work, because they're tracking inventory in ServiceTitan. So consumption of a PVC 90 is important because it will be given back to you from the software. So it's really, truly important. So they just didn't have enough space. And this just allows for them to be able to pre-pick, stage, like you said, process credits, Deb. You just really weren't doing much of that. And even the expensing, to just like clarifying the expensing of materials, so that reduces gross margin and reduces profits. And that's not a great thing, right? So they're just making it so it's more controlled, and they can predict from month to month what the P&L is going to look like, and that's one of the important things.